What's good, everyone? Welcome to the I'm Josh Saying podcast. This is 2022, baby. I know last year I took a break, but I wanted to do some other things. But we are back to give you information that you need to help you scale up and really make a successful life out of 2022. So today, I got my good brother, my good friend, Marcus Johnson with Johnson Capital Planning. And we want to talk about the top 5 money moves for 2022. I know everybody's making these goals and have all these big, outrageous plans about how they're going to do this with their money and how we're going to do that with our money. But I really wanted to bring an expert in here to really give us the top 5 plays to really, make sure that we, start our 2022 off right. I know 2021 was strange for some people. Some people made a lot of money.
A lot of people made a lot of money.
A lot of people made a lot of money.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. And some people didn't make a lot of money, So I really want to just come up with a strategy on really figuring out the best ways to approach 2022. So Marcus, just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, how long you've been doing it, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. So again, my name is Marcus Johnson. I'm the managing partner of Johnson Capital Planning, which we are a full service financial firm where we offer anything from retirement planning, financial planning, estate planning, investing, pretty much anything you can think of from a financial standpoint. I've been doing this almost 10 years now, right? I started my career on Wall Street, was working on Wall Street for several years, and then just decided I wanted to kind of do something more client facing. And I started my career at Edward Jones. Was there for a little while and then said, you know what, I can do this myself. And so I started Johnson Capital Planning, and here we are.
Come on, man. So I know you said you was with who? Edward Jones for a minute?
Yeah, I was there for a minute. That's why I started.
Okay, got you, man. Yep. Let's jump right in, man. So the top 5 things that you feel like we should do in 2022, and then let's talk about 2021.
Okay.
I know we was discussing off camera, talking about how people really won. I really want to know, how did people win in 2021? How they made money? Like, what did that look like?
So first thing I want to say is that I tell people all the time, if your money ain't working as hard as you are, then you will be working for the rest of your life. Right. And so the main thing people understood last year, 2021, is that there was opportunities to put their money to work. And so if we think about it from a macro standpoint, the S&P was up 28%, right? Yeah. So, I mean, that's great, right? You talk about Bitcoin was up 66%. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got the real estate market that was up. And so people was understanding that I can't have my money just sitting in my bank account because I like the psychology of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to see those numbers just sitting out. I got to actually get that money working for me. And so that's what you saw, right? And there was also opportunities for other people to have business opportunities too. Okay. And so you see that from all these different angles. And so a lot of people came up last year.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, and that was one of the things that as I was going into 2022, that was one of the psychology things that I had to get over. Yeah. It's like, I like to go on, online banking and be able to see a certain amount of money in my bank account. I mean, if I get below a certain threshold, I start feeling uncomfortable.
Absolutely, bro.
But even though my money's actually working, so I bought a lot of real estate going into 2022. So in September, I bought like 36 units in Alabama. That costs a lot of money.
Absolutely.
But that money is working.
Sitting on the sidelines, man, is not the play.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't be on the, we can't be like we get at the pool, at the black pool party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody sitting on the sideline. Nobody want to get in the pool.
We got
to get in the pool, man. Especially because we're talking about, everybody want to talk about generational wealth.
Right.
Like, we're not going to get to this generational wealth if we're too scared to get in. You know what I'm saying? And understand that everything you do, you're not going to win, right? There are going to be some losses along the way, but we just got to understand that we got to get that fear out of us and we got to actually get in the pool.
Come on, man. So let's discuss, man, the top 5 money moves that we need to make in 2022. So number 5.
All right, so number 5, before I even get to the list, I got to add a sub part that I just thought about while we were sitting here, because you said something and it just made me think like I got to add something else.
Okay.
All right, so this is the golden rule for 2022. You have to adjust your expectations.
Come on, man. Okay. So the golden rule for 2022 is we have to adjust our expectations. Dive into that, man. What does that mean?
So a lot of times people get involved in different investments or businesses, and the reality is that they're thinking that it's going to be a success as soon as they do it, right? Because we live in this generation where everything got to be instant. We're looking for those likes. We're looking for people to say, look at me, right? But this is, like my man say, it's a marathon, it ain't a sprint.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to just make sure that we're going in with the right mind frame. So I had to add that caveat before I actually get to my list.
So yeah, man. So managing expectations is really one of those things that, you know, it is a microwave society, and like sometimes we want instant gratification.
Absolutely.
And we treat our investments like that as
Same
well.
way.
So it's like with the pandemic, I think the pandemic really started a trend of everybody wanting to talk about stocks.
Oh yeah.
And
Which, you know, I got to say this, you know what I'm saying? I am very appreciative to the fact that people are starting to be a little bit more hungry to understanding like how this stuff works, how to make their money work for them. But you just got to be careful, right? Because it's a lot of information out there, but it's a lot of people out here just saying anything that comes to their mind because it sounds good, right? So we got to be able to disseminate between, you know, what's facts and what sounds good.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and I think the pandemic as well. So a lot of people start getting into Bitcoin.
There you go.
And start getting into all these things, and then they starting to use it as gambling instead of investing.
People are gambling, not investing.
So people start to say, okay, man, I can throw some money in Shiba Coin or Doja Coin and all this other stuff, and try to make quick flips, and they really just use it as it's gambling.
Like, the stock market was never designed to be a quick flip.
Come on.
You know, it was designed to have your money grow over time. Like that's what it was designed to do. And so if you're trying to take the gambling approach or the casino approach to investing, you're gonna lose in the long run.
You're gonna lose in the long run. So all right, man, let's jump right in. Top 5 things or the top 5 money moves that we need to make in 2022.
Let's go. So number 1, I'm gonna say automate your savings and participate in the market, right? So what I mean by that is that we want to make sure that we're doing something on a consistent basis, right? But we got to get away from just putting our money in a savings account, right? Because what happens if you put your money in a savings account? Number 1, inflation is around 5% right now. So inflation is our purchasing power. Every year we live life, prices around us are getting more expensive. Right now it's about 5%. And so if my money is sitting in the bank, it isn't doing anything for me, right? I'm actually losing money by doing that. So now we have to get from the mindset of stop saving and start investing. And so when I say participate in the market, I mean we have to start investing that money. So taking the money from that savings and actually putting it in the market so that we can start to see that increase that we really want.
Yes. So, man, like, and you know, they always preach like, man, having a lot of money in your savings account. And I didn't really realize, man, like your savings account, really, it does no interest.
Nothing for you.
It
right?
does
You're talking
nothing
about,
for you.
Here's the number 1 rule that most, you know, experts in finance talk about. They talk about the rule of 72. Right. And so what the rule of 72 says is if you take the number 72 and you divide it by the interest you're receiving, that's how many years it's going to take for your money to double. So just think about it from the standpoint of with your money sitting in a savings account, right? It's not paying you 1%, but let's say that it is. It's going to take 72 years for your money to double. Do you have 72 years for your money to double? No, man. No, we don't have that kind of time, man. So we got to make sure that we participate in the markets.
Gotcha. So let's dive in on just a little bit on that.
Okay.
So I don't want to utilize a savings account.
Right.
What's a good vehicle for me to put my money in so it can grow, but I still have access to it just in case of an emergency or things
so
like
I call
that.
it, you know, I call it a better savings, right? And so what it is what they call it either a single or a brokerage account, right?
Okay.
And so you can go to anywhere, E-Trade or TD or wherever, and instead of the money sitting in cash, now you can have it sitting into equities, right? Or you can have it sitting into some type of security where your money can start to grow.
Okay,
right?
gotcha.
What they call stocks.
Okay.
Or ETFs or mutual funds, right? So you can start having that money working for you.
Okay, awesome. Number 2.
Number 2, this is kind of like a 2-part situation, right? So number 1, we got to start exploring your old 401k options. Okay. Right. And so what I mean by that is November, the number of people quitting their jobs hit an all-time high. So that let me know that we got a whole bunch of people who had 401ks sitting, and now they left their job, and they probably the 401k is still sitting there.
Yeah.
And so this is an opportunity for you to go out and roll that money over, and now you can have control. Now we can start having that money work for us a little bit better because now we're not, you know, bound by what ERISA says we can, you know, or your plan says that you can invest in.
Okay.
So, you know, we definitely want to make sure that we're doing that. And also the second part to that is that if you do have a job and you have a 401k and they're matching you, you have to participate.
Okay.
Right? Because that's free money.
Free money.
So if you got a job and they offer you a 401k and they said you're going to match and then you don't participate, you already losing, right? Because you're not going to get that nowhere else. Yes. And then for my business owners, right, we got to start exploring how do we do our SEPs? How do we do our solo 401ks? How do we have set up Roths for ourselves, right? Because you're not going to have access to 401ks because you're a business owner, right? And then there's also some, you know, some good tax advantages that you can have with having a SEP. And you want to make sure that you're talking with your financial planner or your tax person to make sure that you're doing the right number. But there's so many ways that you can start exploring and having that money there. And also, when we start talking about real estate, if we have money in these accounts, now we start having liquidity.
Yep.
Right. And so now it looks better when we try to go out and get, said things. And because one of the issues that we're having is that we don't have any liquidity. Most of our money is either tied up into, in our home, right?
Yep.
Or it might be in, just your 401k. But if we start to expand outside of just that, now we're starting to have some liquidity.
Okay, got you. So from a business owner standpoint, you said SEPs.
Yep, SEPs, solo 401ks.
Okay.
Maybe even look at a Roth. You can also look at, and a range of different, products, but I would say, SEP is probably going to be, or simple, either one of those two can, help you out on that front. So
awesome. Number three,
this is going to be real controversial, right? But I threw it out here anyway. Okay. Right. And if you got an issue with it, argue with your mama. Nah,
argue with your mama.
All right. So here it is, man. Resist the urge of paying off debt without doing your homework because it sounds good.
Oh, come on. That is controversial. So it said resist paying off debt.
The urge.
To
pay off your debt because it sounds good because you want to be debt free.
Okay, gotcha.
I heard this from one of my partners. They said, everybody want to be debt free. Well, guess what? Homeless people are debt free.
Right.
It's a bar. Right?
Yeah, it's a bar.
But it's definitely a bar. Like, why are we so in a rush to do that, right? We just talked about it, right? The S&P was up 28% last year.
Yep.
So if I put $100,000 in, that's $28,000 I just made in 1 year to do absolutely nothing. But you so in a rush to go out and pay off this debt, yep. Right? So you might have spent, $30,000-$40,000 trying to pay it off, but we could have took that $30,000-$40,000 and made it work for us. And now eventually that money that we made, we can take care of that debt later. So investing our money into an asset versus worrying about the liability.
Come on. So really putting your money in an asset that can generate enough revenue to pay off your debt
later,
instead of taking that $30,000-$40,000, unloading your debt, but then you don't have enough money.
Now you don't have any money.
You don't have any money. So you got to now build up your savings or build up your money again.
And guess what? That's time. Right? The time is the most precious commodity that we have. We can't get that back.
Yes.
Right? So the time that we spent trying to take care of that, we could have been having that money invested for us. Right?
So
they call it the basic principles of economics says opportunity cost. What do I give up to get? So I'm giving up my money today, my dollars today to take care of a debt when I could have had that money working for me to take care of the debt later.
Yes.
Right? So I don't understand what the urge is for us to just take care of it so fast when we can have that money working for us.
Come on, man. I really love that bar.
Yes.
I got into that. Like, man, I want to just pay off all my debt. But then I was like, because I bought a car last year and I was just going to cash it out. But then I was like, hold on, man, why am I going to cash this out? I could take this $50,000 and go buy some real estate.
Yeah.
And then have my asset paying for it.
I mean,
it just makes sense.
Right? I mean, you got to ask yourself the question, am I trying to grow wealth or am I trying to be in the middle class? Right? Ask yourself that question. Right? Now, if you want to follow your guy who this is what he preaches, the snowball effect and all that stuff, I mean, you're going to pretty much stay in the gamut, right? Because generally what happens is you take all your money, pay off the debt, and then what generally happens, you're probably going to get back in debt, right?
Yeah.
It's a cycle. And so we want to make sure we want to get away from that and start to make that money and those dollars work for us.
I love it, man. All right, number four.
Let's reevaluate your insurance plans and policies.
Yes.
Right. So, and what I mean by that is, start asking yourself the right questions, right? Do you have enough coverage for your policy, right? Is your policy doing what you want it to do, right? Did we buy it for the right reason? Because a lot of times people get stuff and don't really understand what they have. And now they don't really know why they have it and then they cancel it, right?
Yeah.
So understanding what we have. And then outside of just life insurance, right? Do we have disability insurance, right?
Yep.
Do I have enough money to take care of an expense if it pops up or if I got sick, injured, or hurt? And then the last one is your health plans too, right? We want to start reviewing those as well, especially with COVID ramping up and all this stuff that's happening in the world. We want to make sure that we have some type of plan for that as well.
Man, I really do believe that. Let's just really pause on that, man.
Yep.
We as a people, because, as more than black people going to watch this podcast, but really, we as a people, man, we got to get some life insurance, please. We have to get some life insurance. Get it while you're young. It doesn't cost a lot of money. It's about $25 to $28. So I would say from $25 to $45 a month. every month will really get you in a position. So if God forbid you pass away, your family is set up for success. We cannot keep starting from square one. I cannot have my son start from square one.
Nah.
No, when I already know the inevitable. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Two things. Death and taxes are the
fact.
That's the fact.
And so, I said the other day that, we can't talk about generational wealth. Or if you're in the conversation of saying I'm trying to build generational wealth and the only insurance you have is through your job, we need to reevaluate that.
We need to reevaluate.
Right? Because, you're actually paying pennies on the dollar so that your family can, be set up for the future.
Man, set up forever. And that's what they do. Our counterparts do. They set their kids up so when they pass away or granny passes away, there's $1 million or a couple $1 million to start a business, to do all these different things. So we got to just do better at that.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I agree.
All right, this is the number one
thing. The number one thing is we have to explore and build towards having multiple streams of income.
Yes.
Right. And so that can look so many different ways as far as, what those multiple streams of income look like. Because I say all the time, if you only got one income, you're too close to zero.
Right.
Right. Because if anything happens, now what? So we diversifying our income. Maybe you look at getting into real estate. Maybe you side hustles. People ask me all the time, why you still play music? Number one, I love it, but it's also an additional source of income for me.
You better believe it.
You better believe that. Because when I come out and play, you going to pay.
Right.
So
that rhymes, man.
Hey, listen, man. So having multiple streams of income is definitely going to start to set you apart, right? Because, they say most millionaires have 7 streams of income. So the more closer you get to that, the closer you start looking at that freedom that you're looking for.
Man, let's go, man. So let's run them down.
Yep.
Top 5 real quick.
Top 5.
And then we can just really tell the listeners how to get in contact with you, really to start working on their money moves for 2022. We cannot just continue to talk about it. We got to really be about it and really execute these plans, man. So run down top 5,
right?
Yep.
So number 1, automate your savings and participate in the markets.
Yep.
Okay. Number 2, explore all of your options as far as your 401ks if you left your job, and also start to look into, as business owners, look at your options of what you can do for your retirement planning.
Yep.
Number 3, resist the urge of paying off your debt without doing your homework just because it sounds good. Yep. Number 4, reevaluate your insurance policies and plans. And then number 5, explore and build towards having multiple streams of income.
Let's go, man. So these are the top 5 2022 money moves by my guy, Mr. Marcus Johnson. How do I get in contact with you, my brother?
So you can get at me on Instagram or Facebook at Johnson Capital Planning, or you can get me at Marcus Deontay J on Instagram as well. And you can go to our site at johnsoncap.com.
Let's go, man. So make sure y'all take these principles, man, utilize them, but not only hear it, but actually go execute it, man, for 2022, because we got to make money move. So thank y'all for tuning in to I'm Josh Saying. Make sure y'all like, subscribe on my channel on YouTube, Joshua Mundy, as well as on Apple Podcasts or Great Combo Media, or anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Make sure you subscribe to the I'm Josh Saying podcast. Thank y'all. God bless. Peace.